Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of Ranking the Albums, right? Ranking albums. That's what we do every Sunday. Thank you for spending some time with us on your day off here on the weekend. Well, some of you may not have the day off, right? I know some folks do work on the weekends, but thanks for joining us here this morning or afternoon or evening, wherever it might be. Today we're going to take a look at a kind of short catalog, only 5 albums of a cool band that probably many of you have never listened to before. But actually, the genesis of the band actually came from the band Procol Harum. So the band is called Freedom. And two of the founding members of the band Freedom, Bobby Harrison and Ray Royer, Bobby Harrison, drummer and singer, Ray Royer, guitar player, were originally in the early incarnation of Procol Harum. In fact, both of these guys played on The Whiter Shade of Pale before being ousted from the band and being replaced for the full album, right? They went off and decided to do their own thing, right? Let's start our own band. It didn't work out in Procol Harum. Oh, well, we're not going to cry about it. So let's form this band called Freedom. And the first thing they actually did was they got contracted to do the soundtrack movie to an Italian film called Nero su Bianco, otherwise known as Black and White, which eventually was changed to Attraction. Dino De Laurentiis had a lot to do with that particular album, and featured, brand new band comprised of Bobby Harrison, vocals and drums, Ray Royer, guitars, Steve Shirley, bass and vocals. In fact, he sang most of the vocals, if not all of them, on that first album. And Mike Leese on keyboards. That was the original version of the band, which only stayed together for this one album, right? So this is the album right here. So whatever you want to call it, Black on White, Nero su Bianco, or Attraction, right? So that was the name of the film, but the album is basically called Black on White. Very much of its time. This was released in 1969, so it's very much kind of bluesy, hard rock with a psychedelic edge. Swirling organ. Probably, my guess is Farfisa organ. I don't think it's Hammond organ. It doesn't sound like it anyway. And biting lead guitar leads, right? It's good stuff, right? You have "To Be Free." That's a great song. Should appeal to folks who like Deep Purple's first 2 or 3 albums, right? The early, psychedelic pop of Deep Purple's early stuff. The better side is total psychedelic pop. Pretty good song. You got the title track, dreamy, organ and piano drink, psychedelic rock, not unlike early Procol Harum. Pretty good one, and I think the vocals on that one are really nicely done. You got Seeing is Believing. That's a heavier one. Early, heavy rock, fuzzy guitars, piano. Like that one. You got the organ-drenched psychedelic rock of You Won't Miss. You got Born Again, which is a crisp rocker, like that one. Decidedly Man, kind of similar. Just good, late 60s, rock. And The Game Over is another really good one. That's the last track on the album. That's probably would appeal to prog fans. It's kind of got that proto-prog, that early prog sound to it. Swirling, creepy organ, really well done. The rest of the album is somewhat mediocre to fairly solid, right? Nothing great. It's very much of its time, and considering it's a soundtrack, it's comprised of, actual songs, right? These aren't big, long instrumental things or little ditties and things like that. They're all songs on here. So for a debut, not too bad, right? As a soundtrack, it works pretty well. You can kind of see the influences of what's all going around them at the time, and certainly from the band the two guys just came from, but really doesn't sound all that much like what was to come shortly thereafter. So number 4, I'm going to go with their very last album, which is called Is More Than a Word from 1972. So this is the 5th and final album. So again, we're only talking 3 years here. So 69 to 72, it's basically done. So now we have the trio of Mr. Harrison on drums and vocals, Steve Jolly on guitar, and Pete Dennis on bass. Although a guy named Roger Saunders, who plays a big part in all of the albums 2, 3, and 4, he's not officially in the band, or he leaves the band when they put the album out, but he is on the album. He does play a little bit of guitar, some piano, and vocals, but mainly it's the other 3 guys I mentioned before. So got a really good opener in Together, Okay, that's the song Together. Part kind of funky rocker, part atmospheric rocker. It's got some even, they got the new lead guitar player, Steve Jolly. He's doing some chicken picking stuff on here. And you got some guest violin on here. So almost gives the song a little kind of like Southern rock vibe, even though 1972, a little bit early for that, right? Pretty interesting. So right off the bat, I'm already hearing, wow, this is some different stuff going on this album. Obviously a new lineup, that makes sense. Little Miss Louise, kind of a laid back, bluesy, jazzy rocker. You got Sweaty Feet. It's kind of like hard boogie, kind of like Status Quo. Pretty good song. Brainbox Jam is a fun, groovy, funky, jammy type piece. It's all instrumental. It's just a jam. Got good crisp guitar tones and little drum solos. But at 8 minutes, it probably goes on for a little bit too long. But I think it's otherwise pretty cool. Would have been a good 5-minute little piece. You got Direction. That's kind of like a slow blues number. It's got nice guitar solos and piano. Emotional lead vocals. I like that one. It's pretty good. They do a version of Going Down, which we've heard a million times. Everybody does Going Down, but this one is pretty heavy, right? Good, nice heavy version. Big beefy guitars. I really like it. It's good. And the last two tracks, you got Dream and Ladybird, kind of end the album on kind of like a mellow note. Decent, not great songs. The latter one, Ladybird, almost sounds like Blood, Sweat, and Tears a little bit. It's got horns and piano and similar type vocals. I mean, overall, this one is all over the place, but there are some good tracks to be found on here, and this would be the last thing that they did, like I said. All right, so number 3, I'm going to go with their second album, Freedom at Last. And there's the actual power trio there of Mr. Harrison, obviously, vocals and drums. We've got Roger Saunders on guitar and Walt Monahan on bass. So, like I said, that's kind of the classic lineup of Freedom right here that appeared on 3 albums together. So this one is a totally different beast from the debut, right? Which was that soundtrack album I was telling you about. So here the band is incorporating lots of early heavy rock, blues rock, proto metal elements in spots throughout the album. You got Enchanted Wood kicks off the album. Big beefy riffs, pounding drums, excellent song. Down on the Bottom is track number 2. Raucous, heavy blues rock, slashing lead guitars all over the place. Love that one. Have Love Will Travel, rocks hard. Great vocal from Mr. Harrison on that one. Really good song. Cry Baby Cry. It's more like kind of like the dreamy, atmospheric, psychedelic rock of the debut. Lots of weepy organ. Yeah, that's pretty good, for what it is. You got they do a really good version of Time of the Season from the Zombies, of course. It's really well done. Sounds almost exactly like the original. So if you like when someone does an original cover version of something and it sounds so true to the original, you'll like this. If you want to hear a band doing something different with a really cool classic song, you don't really get that, but it is well done. You got bluesy kind of boogie on Hoodoo Man. You got a real heavy take on Willie Dixon's Built for Comfort. That's really good. It's heavy. You get more bluesy rock on Fly. Never Loved a Girl sounds like kind of like early Stones, right? It's good. My Life, the next song, My Life's kind of bland. You got Dusty Track, which is kind of funky, bluesy. Okay song, not too bad. Overall, you got a nice cover, nice mix of cover songs and originals on here. Not all of it is great, but a good chunk of it is actually quite good, and I like the early kind of heaviness of this album. It's a clear indication of where they're going to go next for them. So, let's see. So, number 2 is going to be their 4th album, which is called Through the Years. From 1971. There they are, looking all sorts of tough. Tell me that doesn't look like a early heavy rock metal band right there, right? They've gotten rid of all the little psychedelic stuff and pop and things from that first album and a little bit of the second. Completely gone here. This is their 4th album. So this one was originally released on Vertigo Records. And again, here's the trio of Monahan, Saunders, and Harrison appearing together for the last time on record. Opens up, and there's only 6 tracks on here, which is really weird. You got Freestone. Excellent, funky, bluesy, hard rock, great grooves, wah-wah guitars all over the place. Great song. Through the Years, The title track has kind of like a 10 years after feel to it, which I'm a big 10 years after feel to fan. Love that. Get Yourself Together brings in more heavy riffs, lots of groove. Another excellent song. London City, kick-ass bluesy rock, reminds me of Humble Pie from right around the same time period. Great vocal from Harrison on that one. You got Thanks, which is kind of like a lush piano and acoustic guitar ballad. Nice kind of change of pace from the rest of the album. And then you got Closer, Toe Grabber, which is 7 minutes of funky, heavy rock. Really good drums, busy drums all over the place. Hot guitar licks left and right. Really good song. Really great ender. And I think it's a really strong album. I wish there were more songs here, right? I could have used another 1 or 2 tracks on here. In fact, that was the reason I gave for not putting this in my number 1, because I really do like this one. But number 1 is going to be their third album from 1970, which is just called Freedom. This is good stuff. Again, you got the trio of Monahan, Saunders, and Harrison. Starts off at Nobody, total ass kicker. Just a real potent slice of melodic, heavy rock, early 70s heavy rock, busy drums, loads of riffs and lead guitars. Killer song, catchy chorus, excellent, one of their best songs. In Search of Something is up next. That's reminds me of kind of like The Who meets Cream. The rhythm guitar work and the chords are kind of very Townsend-ish, and the lead guitars, using wah-wah kind of sounds like Clapton on Disraeli gears. That's kind of what I get when I hear this particular track. You got Man-Made Laws is up next. Another good, solid, hard rock track. Ain't No Chance to Score. Sizzling blues rock with lots of lead guitar. Really good song. Love that. They do a cover of Pretty Woman, which works well. Okay, it's pretty crunchy, pretty heavy, And then the title track, Freedom, quite heavy, almost doomy in spots. One of my favorites here. Just 5 minutes of big fuzz riffs and wailing vocals. Really like it a lot. I would definitely go check out the title track, Freedom. Really good. Kind of reminds me of like early Spooky Tooth also. With the way the riffs are, and then the lead guitar is really well done. I like it a lot. And then Frustrated Woman, the closer, is kind of like a bluesy boogie rave up. Good enough song. Not one of my favorites on here, but it's good enough. I think it's a really good album. Like I said, I had a hard time between these two because these are clearly my favorites in the catalog, and I would highly recommend both of them as a first place to go check out. Through the Years and Freedom, self-titled. That's probably my best recommendation where to start. But yeah, number 1, Freedom. Through the Years, number 2. Freedom at Last, number 3. As More Than a Word, number 4. And Black on White, number 5. Very cool, obscure band. You could probably still get some of these CDs, although, I'm trying to remember what the record label was. Was it Esoteric? I'm not quite sure. Maybe not. There is a brand new box set that just came out that has all of these albums and a booklet, remastered, some extra live tracks here and there. So if you want to get this in like an all-in-one nice little set that just came out real recently. In fact, I think Ken Golden has them on sale at lasercd.com. But it's a great way to just get these all in one nice package. Pretty affordable, probably cheaper than going out and buying all of these separately. But I've had these for years and years and years. In fact, a few of these are on Angel Air. You guys remember Angel Air Records? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. All of these were all reissued on Angel Air. So all the ones that I have are Angel Air reissues, which came out probably like, the early 2000s, right? 2000, 2004, 2004, 2000, 2009, right? So yeah. But if you want, like I said, if you want to just go and get them all in one shot, go get the Freedom box set. They're all in there. So cool band. Only around for a couple of years. Mike Harrison and Company. If you like kind of bluesy, psychedelic, early heavy rock and blues rock, this is the place. This place to go. Good stuff. Good vocalist. Good singer. I like this stuff. And go check them out. And this is on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button. Also down below we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, link to our merch page for all sorts of cool Sea of Tranquility stuff, and link to our Cameo if you want me to do a personalized video for you. So all that stuff is available down below. Thank you in advance for all that. And we'll see you a week from today. Grant Arthur is coming on board. He's got, of course, his own YouTube channel, and he is a driving force behind the Contrarians. He's going to come on SOT on ranking the albums, and we're going to get funky next week. We're going to rank the catalog of Sly and the Family Stone, a terrific, terrific band from the 60s and early 70s. Sly Stone, of course, a legendary figure. Made a name for himself, of course, at Woodstock, and had all sorts of cool hit singles and best-selling albums around that time period. And I've been getting into Sly and the Family Stone quite a bit over the last few months. So Grant and I are going to rank the catalog next week, a week from today. So stay tuned for that. Until then, I am Pete Pardo. Enjoy your week. Enjoy the rest of your day here, and we'll see you Tuesday in the Prog Seat for our Q&A show. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.